Hey everyone. Today I want to talk about a different topic than normal. So, as you probably guessed by the title of the video, I wanted to talk about speeding. So, speeding is really weird if you think about it. I guess that's my thesis statement here. I'm not trying to make an argument. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I just think it's really weird, and I guess I want you to feel like it's weird too. So, everybody, at least this is what happens in America. Maybe in every other country in the world, they never speed. But in America, everyone speeds on the road while driving all the time. Basically all the time. It's extremely rare to encounter cars who are going way below the speed limit. Maybe sometimes you'll see a truck do it, but not really other single passenger vehicles. And isn't that weird? It's illegal. We're all doing that. I do that. I do that all the time. I mean, for YouTube, like community guidelines purposes, I would never do that. But, I do it all the time. And so we're all just breaking the law all the time, just on this particular law. Do you commute to work every day? Do you speed the whole way there, the whole way back? So you just break the law every day for maybe an hour, 2 hours, depends on how long your commute is. Isn't that weird? And people have all their little rules for it. Oh, I go 5 over. That's mostly what I do around here. Some people are like, I go 10 over. I've never had a problem. Some people are like, fuck it, I do 100. I've known some people like that. They usually eventually get tickets. And then everyone's like, yeah, that's my rule. That's fine. Isn't that weird? We all have our rules. We're like, this is maybe the moral or ethical line. And it's never what the number says on the sign. So that's pretty weird. Cops don't care. I have passed cops going 5 over the speed limit. I mean, they were probably browsing Facebook in their car or whatever. But, they're like, there he goes. He's only doing 5 over. That's fine. We only care about law breaking when it's enough, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. And then think of how easy enforcement would be. When I'm driving my car, there's usually at least like 3 different things in my car that are telling me that I'm speeding. I have the speedometer. I have my cruise control, which is set to breaking the law. I have my phone, and it's telling me with GPS, like, here's what the actual speed limit is, and here's what you're doing. And it's orange because they're like, you're breaking the law the right amount, according to Google. I would love to see the config file that they have for Google Maps where it's like, this much is okay. This much, okay, now you're speeding, now you're going 10 over or whatever. I don't know what it's set to, but they're like, yeah, that's beyond the pale. But anything under that, you're speeding the right amount. I think we can all agree. You're breaking the law just enough. And it would be so easy to use one of those things to enforce. I drive through a toll booth. That's another good one. I drive through a toll booth. And often it says speed limit 40. And I'm like, go through at 70. It takes a picture of my car, but only one. Because if it took 2, then they would know how fast I was going. So don't take 2. And why don't they bother enforcing it there? Do we care about speeding or not? Why are there speed limit signs everywhere? Why do we not do anything to enforce it? It's strange. I know I said that, but it's strange. Speed cameras exist. There's things that explicitly take a picture of your car, maybe in 2 places, and they say, you're going too fast, here's a ticket. And everybody hates those. I know those exist in the UK. They have them a lot more there. But why don't they do that? And I'm not advocating for that. I would prefer 0 speed cameras ever anywhere because I hate them. But why don't they do that? It's so easy to enforce. And I was thinking, so I wrote all these notes for this. I was thinking about this, and I was like, Is there a conspiracy? That's fun. As we know, there's a conspiracy to make YouTube not work on Firefox, right? According to head of conspiracies at Mozilla. But who's behind speed limits and not enforcing it? It's nobody. There's nobody behind this. Speed limits get set by states to different speeds. They get set in different countries in different ways. Then all the cops individually decide what to do. State level policing, at least in the US, they have a wide latitude for what to do. And then all the cops kind of personally are like, there goes that guy. He's going 1 over. I'm not going to write a ticket for that. Probably no one's telling them to do that. And so I don't think there's a secret conspiracy here. You could say, okay, well, they use it to generate revenue. That definitely happens. Here in Texas, they're small towns, and they are like, I don't know, little speed limit ATMs or something. The speed limit will drop from like 70 down to 40 or something stupid just for this tiny quarter-mile stretch. And it's just so that the cops there can just park at both ends of it and just make money. They just write tickets and they just make money. And it's really crappy, but that's what they do. But also, a lot of the way they do it is they set the speed limit too low. If they just kept it at 70 and then they sat at both ends of the town and tried to enforce it, they wouldn't make very much money, right? So still, it's like in that local area, you can say, yeah, okay, there's a conspiracy here. I get how they're trying to trap me. But then when the speed limit's 70 on the rest of the highway and everyone's going 75 or 80, whatever their personal moral threshold is, the cops aren't out there generating a whole lot of revenue. So I don't think it's for police. You could say it's pretext for traffic stops, but also cops kind of stop people for no reason. They're like, oh, I thought I saw a broken taillight. I smelled weed from like 2 cars away or whatever. Or they just kind of stop people and never really give a cause, and the person never really challenges them. I've definitely seen that happen before. So like, I don't think they need more pretext for traffic stops. I don't think that traffic stopping people, like, it's not worth deploying speed limit signs everywhere across the entire country just so that it's easy for cops to stop people. I don't think anyone's behind that. It's really weird. And then if you think about it, politicians drive too. So the guys who are setting the laws and setting the policies, like, they're out there probably driving 5 and 10 over also, right? And so they don't really want to impose this on themselves. They're like, yeah, in the interest of public safety, oh yeah, we got to have some speed limits, but like, what speed limits? So I don't think they're doing it. So I don't think there's a conspiracy. So why do we as a country, maybe as all of humanity, I mean, speed limits exist in most countries, let's be real. Why do we all agree that this is just a law that everyone should break every day, all the time, for billions and billions of miles, and that's fine. And then all the cops are like, yeah, go ahead, break it a little. Like, what other things are like this? Imagine you cheat like 5 miles per hour on your taxes. Like, everyone underreports their taxes by like 5%. They're like, oh, how much do you underreport your taxes? Oh, I do, yeah, 95%. Yeah, oh, I do 90 and never been caught. Like, yeah, that's the right amount. Like, first off, it doesn't work. You don't get away with it because the IRS looks at numbers, they count, and they're like, hey, no, you can't do that. But we can look at the number of how fast you're going. Like I said, I'll look at like 3 copies of it. But nah, you don't cheat on your taxes just a little bit. That's not a thing. Do we all go to the store and shoplift 1 item per trip? And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, 2 items, that's a little bit too much. But yeah, I steal all my toothpaste. Like, what? I can't even. I was trying to think of anything that's like this, like, stealing something with money. Does everyone commit some light fraud or something? I don't know. I can't think of anything that's like this. Even other motor vehicle things. Does everyone drive around with like 1 broken tail light and that's okay? You get away with that? There's nothing. It's so weird. And nobody judges other people for it. Like, you tell everyone, yeah, I drive 5. I just commuted to work. I just drove an hour at 5 over. And everyone's like, yeah, I do it too. I go 10 over. And they're like, oh, I drive the speed limit because I got caught once, but 5 over is fine. And you're like, once I put a brick in the recycling bin. And they're like, you are a terrible person. But not because you go 5 over. It's because of the brick. And so people don't judge it. Like, is speeding dangerous? Is it not? Should we do it? Should we not? Should it be illegal? Why don't we do anything? The only thing that I could think of that's a little bit like this is I know in Japan, they have this culture of everyone steals everyone's umbrellas all the time when it's raining. Okay, I guess there's that one. Lock your umbrellas in Japan. Everyone will steal them. Nobody will judge for it. I bet they all speed there. So anyway, I just wanted to draw your attention to this. I should probably transform this into a blog post too, so I'll have a nice written record of it. But it's such a weird thing, isn't it? We just all speed. Anyway, I still think it's weird. At least now, I've told you, you can be weirded out by it.